Dokkan Battle has been known to release all forms of content throughout the game's history. However, what happened to one of the greatest events that has ever graced Dokkan Battle through the history of the game, and that is Boss Rush? What happened? The first two stages of Boss Rush were some of the greatest moments I've ever played in Dokkan Battle, especially that absolute gauntlet you had to go through just through so many Dokkan events, when Dokkan events were, moderately difficult back then. They weren't the craziest challenge of all time around the second anniversary, but it was a dexterity test. You had to make sure your team stood alive through 20 fights plus, and by the end, you've used all your items, your team was beaten up, your HP was low, and at any moment, one super could take out your team. And that is exactly what this game is missing, is to tap back into the old modes, bring up new forms of content through them, and don't be lazy with them. Boss Rush has now become the very repetitive thing of just releasing 5 Dokkan event stages that have not been in a Boss Rush recently, just for that quick stone. And that's not what Boss Rush was all about. Boss Rush, yes, is a quick and convenient way to get stones, but it also was a way to challenge yourself. There was, like, that one stage, I remember, causing me so much pain and had to do so many attempts. You would go through it for hours and hours on end just trying to get the perfect run. I had to do the turn reset glitch to reset RNG so I could cheat the way through it and win. I literally had to cheat in order to beat it back in the day. I also wasn't nearly as good as I am now, back, during the second year of the game, but it was a real challenge. It was fun. It was a great way to utilize Dokkan Fest stages because, Dokkan Fest stages by themselves are not necessarily that hard. But, this stage gave us 30 stones, and, later down the line, of course, now each stage gives us 35 stones, but they're not super challenging. They also just stopped doing them altogether. Like, the last Boss Rush stage we gotten was from Full Power Frieza all the way up to Super Saiyan 3 Physical Goku.
What?
And mind you, Physical Super Saiyan 3 Goku just got an Easy A. That means he's been out for at least 3 years. So, and that's not the case for every Easy A, but, his Easy A literally came out 3 years after he was released. So, we are over 3 years of no Boss Rush stage. Well, that's not over 3 years of no Boss Rush stage, but okay. And it's been 3 years since that Goku's release, and he's the most recent Boss Rush stage. They have not kept the pace on these. And again, there's the whole point of introducing new content isn't for you to throw away old content so that you can get, new content in, and then that's it. The last time I got a Boss Rush stage was July 9th. July 9th. That's the last time we've gotten a Boss Rush stage, and it just feels like they've just forgotten about this. And it's just doesn't make much sense to me, because this feels like something they should be tapping into. This feels like something they should lean into. They make all these events anyways. How hard is it to put them 15 in a row for 50 stones? It's super simple. It provides enough challenge where it's, at least content, but they just need to do that. Now, if they don't want to do Dokkan Event Boss Rush anymore, or they're trying to find new ways to reinvent it, that's completely fine. But the Boss Rush thing is such a great mechanic. Now let's look at what they did for the movie Boss Rush. The Red Zone movie Boss Rush was also a unique way to create a Boss Rush kind of battle that didn't drag on for 17 years. But, it was the bosses being a little bit stronger than what they were before, and they provided a certain challenge. In fact, if they made the Dokkan Event Boss Rush in the same style they made the movie Boss Rush, I think the Dokkan Event Boss Rush would be so much better. First of all, because there's no need to include the cloud or whatever, right? To go back to the beginning of the stage or something like that. If they want to do it like that, kind of the SBR style, that's fine. but they need to make each boss stronger than the original Dokkan Fest. Otherwise, it's too easy. And if they're trying to make this for beginner players, that's fine. There's already 19 stages of boss rushes for them to go through, and I promise you they can get through them and gain a crap ton of stones through there. But it's just like they're wasting their time not trying to lean into this more. Especially because there's over 3 years of Dokkan Fest that can get a boss rush stage, and they just haven't tapped into it. And again, they have red zone stages as well that they can do boss rushes for as well that they also have not leaned into. It just feels like you have so much opportunity for content, especially boss rushes, and they're just going against it. Now, you could say Festival Battles is a boss rush.
That's quite big. Yikes.
Because it absolutely is, kind of. Like, yes, it is an onslaught of enemies, but it's not a boss rush per se, especially because most of these units are just units as bosses. And you're like, well, okay, those can be technically considered a giant Dokkan event boss rush, but you're only fighting the final stage of every single Dokkan event, but you skip a ton, right? Like, Festival Battles is kind of its own gauntlet kind of thing. It's a long battle gauntlet, but I think boss rush is just a little more unique because it's taking events that are already existing in the game, putting them together with other bosses, and then making them harder, right? I know Dokkan Event boss rushes didn't do that, but I'm specifically talking about the movie boss rush. Where's the GT boss rush? Where's the Future Zone boss rush? Where is the Majin Buu Saga boss rush? Like, you wonder how crazy it would be if they made a fusion of the Future Saga boss rush for the red zones, and the final stage is the fusion Zamasu that haunted everyone's dreams, doing like 4 mil AoEs and a 10 mil super. Dude, that man would be in everyone's nightmare. Now, luckily, it probably wouldn't be specifically that fusion Zamasu. It probably would be the corrupted one. But still, I mean, it still would be an insane boss rush to have to go through. And it's just fun that way. You know, it provides longer content for us to go through that doesn't feel like a chore, like some of the newer content we have right now. So it's just a little interesting why they have just completely diverged away from something that once was some of the hardest content that this game had to offer. And I'm specifically talking about the Dokkan Event boss rush. And it concerns me a little bit because, and I know this video is mainly talking about how great the normal boss rush was and how the challenges were and how everyone in the community had these races and all that stuff that you had through this content. But what concerns me more is not the fact that boss rush isn't getting content, but it's the fact that a lot of content that was in the past is no longer getting content anymore. I mean, look at this. The last Super Battle Road stage we have is Power Beyond Super Saiyan.
Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Power Beyond Super Saiyan.
We've had a lot more categories come out since Power Beyond Super Saiyan. You know, we have super bosses, we have superhero, Earth protecting heroes, successors, you know, we have tournament participants. There's so many categories that we've gotten recently that just don't have SBR stages. And it's not even like, oh, well, they were just recently released, so they haven't done it. There's not a Power of Wishes one yet. There's not Uncontrollable Power yet. There's so many categories that have come out past the 7th year of this game that don't have categories on an SBR style stage. And again, that one was pretty up to date at some point. I don't even know the last time they released one. The last time they released Battle Road was December 27th. It's been 5 months since the last SBR stage. And I think my main concern is right now is they're just abandoning all that stuff. But for beginning players or players with newer accounts, they're forced into this harder content. The battle hardened formidable foes and the red zone stages and the festival of battles. Look, I love all those things, but they're all one-offs. Actually, no, they're all one-offs. They're not adding a single stage to any of those ever again. Festival of Battles probably won't get a new iteration until 10 years later, when they've gone through another 10 years of content. And Battle Hardened Formidable Foes, what is there left to add? They've gone through every single arc. The only thing you would ever be able to add is a Dyma stage, and whenever Super comes back. But that's all you can add to it. So it's just a little difficult, or I guess it's hard to understand why they are abandoning all of their old content in pursuit of content that people don't even like. People enjoy Red Zone. But a lot of people didn't enjoy battle hardened for build foes. A lot of people don't enjoy festival battles. A lot of people enjoyed SBR and ESBR. And a lot of people enjoyed chain battle that got completely just destroyed out of the game. A lot of people enjoyed boss rush. That's just not here anymore. I understand it's a new era of the game, but you're not supposed to just completely rip out all the old stuff you had, and we got these new game modes. They're supposed to continually add on to each other. Like 6 LRs, we're getting 6 LRs, or we got 6 LRs for anniversary, and I really would not be shocked if we get 6 LRs for the global Dokkan campaign. Shouldn't they not limit the amount of stones we're gonna get to that point? You're gonna need a lot more stones than just, 1,500 stones going into the anniversary or something like that, because you have to get 6 LRs and not 4. And pity only covers 2,500. You need 2,500 stones for 1 copy of Pity for 6 units now, not even 4. I don't understand why they're trying to be so stingy with the amount of stones they're going to give, when in reality is a lot of people need a crap ton of stones to get all 6 LRs, unless again they're planning on giving us another free LR, or they're going back down to 4 LRs. There's no need to be stingy. There's no point. This game is old. It should be a lot of fun to explore all the different game modes, and if you're worried about stone count, then just lower the stone count, or something of the sort. But give us stuff to do. Give us things to explore. Give us something we can play all the time. Not just have to repeat the same red zone stages to play a unit. That's just not what it should be, and that's what it's become. That's just the sad reality of it. And rather than today we get this stage, tomorrow we get this, and next day we get that, it just feels like Dokkan is kind of destroying everything that got him to this point to try to release this new era of Dokkan that focuses on red zone and blue zone and stuff like that, when all the old content is what got them here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys miss Boss Rush? Do you guys miss the constant SBR stages? Do you guys miss that kind of content? Or do you enjoy the new era of Dokkan? Do you enjoy kind of not as many easier stages and, they're longer, more grueling, hard stages that don't give you as much reward as something like Boss Rush or Infinite Dragon Ball History? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And again, check down the playlist down below for Dokkan Battle content, voiced and, of course, the text kind of styled content. And I'll see you guys in the next one.